Welcome to No Options with Ty Gibson, the show where life's toughest trials become the foundation for your greatest triumphs. Real stories, raw conversations, and the unwavering belief that you were built to overcome. Now, here's your host, Ty Gibson.
Hey, so welcome to AT&T Stadium. Good to see you in person again.
Yes, no, it's great to be here. You know, good football games are, it's just fun. It's a lot of football, but it sure is a lot of fun.
It is. And I was telling everybody, you know, I get more energy for every single game because it's so, encouraging.
Yeah.
The only downside is the food. You can't eat like that 4 days straight.
No, you can only eat so many hot dogs and popcorn but yeah, it is. It's good though. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. You have too, and it just gets where now. In fact, I was sitting there just this first half. We're at the halftime of a good game, I guess, and it was just thinking about, man, this is probably. This moment right here, every one of these kids are going to remember the rest of their life.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I don't know if you remember Married with Children, but Al Bundy, that was what he was known for, his high school glory.
Oh, yeah, he lived by
I scored
that,
4 touchdowns in one game. But, yeah, that's going to be big. For some of these kids, it's going to be one of the biggest memories of their life.
Oh, for sure.
Others, it's going to be chump change compared to what they go on to do.
But I still think, no matter what these guys do, when you talk, you hear like some of these pro athletes that still talk about when they won state championship, and so it's kind of cool to think this moment that's going on right now out there is some of the best days of their life.
And it's so hard to get here. I was talking, speaking of pro athletes, I was talking to Patrick Mahomes the other day at the Hall of Fame banquet, and he didn't win a state championship.
Yeah.
He had a good team. He was a great player, but it's hard to get here.
No, it's, and in fact, we were kind of looking at teams that have gotten here and what they went through to get here. The different teams were like, holy cow, those were some great teams.
Right.
And to get here, like we said, it's just I've known it for a long time that it's hard, but when you really look at what between the injuries and the long season, the extended season and the toll it puts on those kids and coaches and getting through practicing through holidays and
and even if it's not injuries, flu goes around every year and it decimates some teams. Something as simple as that. But let's talk about and this ties in really well with your podcast, No Options. The ones who got here, that's their philosophy.
Yeah.
Look, it's next play. I just threw an interception. I got to put that behind me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you're right. On the No Options podcast, the mindset I talk about is how powerful the mind is, and I got to listen a while ago to one of the coaches kind of talking and they showed a video of his pregame speech, and I get fired up.
Oh, me too. I love
but
it.
it's just talking about how strong mentally you have to be, because like you said, this play we stumbled and we fumbled or whatever happened, right? But let's think about the next play. We got to move forward, and that's life. We talk about it all the time, and thanks to you, I was able to take some of my fumbles and stumbles and in my case my medical challenges over the years and go, what, that was then. What are we going to do now? And that's kind of what the No Options mindset's about, right? So and so you could definitely tie it into these coaches and these players, because you can't tell me any of them that got here it's been an easy road.
No,
they've all ran into something.
Not at all. And you see teams all the time when trouble hits, they either do step up or sometimes they start bickering with each other. And you see it's over. Mm-hmm. They're melting down. They're going to lose.
Right.
But in real life, I say real life. It's real important to them right now, but it's not real life.
That's true.
But when you run into something like you did with your health issues, you throw in the towel and life is over.
Correct. Yeah. It can take your mind again. Like you're saying, it's a team could. Well, we watched a good game last night where a team really got down, but they kept fighting. They were just that one step from really being back in the game. But but it was because they didn't give up.
Right.
And I think we talk about that all the time, and I talk about a lot on my podcast, is just don't give up.
Yeah.
Because we talk about that 3 steps. In my case, I talk about the 3 steps, and that first one is grow or die.
Right.
I mean, are we getting better? Are we going to get better on the next play?
Right.
Or are we just going to give up on this last play that we messed up on? And I think that's probably a good way to put life, right? Are we going to take that next step, or are we going to poor pitiful me and go to the clubhouse and be done, right? So, but anyway, it's awesome. I mean, this time of year, end of year, we're getting ready for holidays but man, football. This is when it's so good. I mean, I walked down into the concourse, and I got to be around the team, all the parents and the fans coming in, and man, it is exciting. I mean, it's and to be honest, these teams that are playing right now, I didn't realize how they were going to pack this place out. I think everybody in those towns are here.
Right. During the 6-man and even the 2A games, there were more people in the stands than are in the towns combined. so it's the towns are empty, and the surrounding areas are bringing people.
That's awesome.
So and fans like me, if I wasn't working media, I'd probably be here anyways as a fan.
Yeah. Well, it's such a cool time, and I think there's a lot of people here that come every year, no matter who's playing, right? It's good football. And in fact, I think you were telling me about a guy that comes down from Pennsylvania, because he wants to be around Texas football. I mean, I think there's a lot of people.
That's huge. Yeah, he's one of the biggest bloggers, photographers in Pennsylvania, which is a huge football state. Mm-hmm. But he stops everything and comes here, because Texas,
It is. It's pretty special. And if you haven't been here to one, I mean, I was trying to get in this morning. I was here all day yesterday, but then getting in this morning, I mean, they were wrapped around around the building getting in. I mean, it was a mess. So,
I love it.
It's good stuff. And but I wanted to say, we talk about adversity, and we talk about maybe the teams that didn't get here, I mean, they're having those talks right now about how do we get better next year? What are the next steps we can take? And I think that's, again, going back to just life. And I want to thank you, because you helped me take that next step. I knew after after the opportunity came about where I had some extra time on my hands, and we were able to sell the business and get me in a different role where I'm still involved, but I have time, right? And so to be able to, what I was thinking was I want to go just tell my story and help people through that, encourage people through whatever they're going through.
Nice.
But then you kind of took me a little, you stretched me outside my comfort zone a little bit and said, "Hey, Ty, have you ever heard of a podcast?" And I was like, "Chris, I have trouble turning the computer on. I mean, how what do you mean do a podcast?" So I want to thank you, though, because the podcast has been really cool. I've met some amazing people.
Yeah. Let me interrupt real quick because you mentioned I helped you. I view myself like these coaches, and I've seen it year after year after year. They don't win until they believe they can win, and that coach is the one who convinces them. Look, the coach doesn't play the game. I don't do your podcast, but I convinced you could do it.
Right.
And that's all it takes. Yeah, again, you talked about mindset. That's all it is.
It is. It's I got to practice what I preach sometimes.
That's right.
But I mean, and I don't know whoever's out there that maybe listen to this, that whether it be a podcast or whether it be just do I want to go for that promotion and work, or do I want to try that new career move, whatever that looks like. I mean, what are we waiting for? Right? I mean, that's kind of the thing. What can happen? We get like I think you and Stephanie told me the other day. What can they say? No.
That's the worst.
But really, we get in our comfort zone, and that's where I was at. I was in a real comfort zone, and I'll tell you, I've really enjoyed being kind of stretched outside that comfort zone, and that's when we grow. Yeah, that's when we really do our best.
Well, and I love seeing this evolve into your public speaking. Because that's where you really shine, is when you're speaking from your heart. Once you understood all podcasting is speaking from your heart, then it became easy. But I tell you, if you get a chance to see this man speak, I mean, it's a great story. In fact, subscribe to the podcast, right?
That's right. That's right. I would love for you guys to jump on and what I try to do is I just interview people, everyday people, that are going through some form of adversity.
Yeah.
You know, and I think completely different people. So you never know what's going to connect with, but I think one thing we do realize that we all deal with adversity in some form.
Right. Yeah, and it's not you having conversations with people who had health issues. You know, a lot of them did, but a lot of them had nothing to do.
No.
Maybe it was a business they were trying to start, or that, like you mentioned, that promotion they wanted.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, it's everything. I mean, from a small business, you know, owner for many years to just, you know, I mean, Lord, from our relationships at home to our kids and our, you know, our friends and business and you know, you name it. There's something we're always dealing with, and I you know, I just want to encourage people through it, and I hope, you know, every time I speak that people realize, wow, if he can do it, I can do it, and that's what I hope, because that's so true. I mean,
it is true.
It's a mindset.
It's totally a mindset. Gosh, Ty, I want to thank you again.
You bet, Chris.
It's always good to see you in person. I know we talk every week, but it's great to see you in person and at an event like this.
Yeah, no, Chris, thank you, and again, if you guys are anywhere in the spot where you're thinking about doing a podcast, call Chris, because he can help you, I promise.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to No Options. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment and leave a review. And more importantly, please share it with someone who may need to hear it. You can find more stories, resources, and ways to connect over at my website, tygibson.com. And that is Gibson with a P, TYGIPSON.com. Remember, no matter where you are, your story isn't over yet if you live like you have no options. I'll see you next time.
You know Ty Gibson is an entrepreneur, a relentless survivor. Did you know he's also a powerhouse speaker? After overcoming 3 transplants, juvenile diabetes, he built thriving businesses with one mantra: no options. Ty transforms adversity into action. His keynotes ignite audiences with real-world resilience and 30-plus years of sales mastery. Are you ready to inspire your team? Book Ty Gibson today as your next speaker. You can call 512-944-4780 or head over to tygibson.com. That's Gibson with a P. It's time for your event to share the motivation that is no options.